I think 2016 is going to be the year where many in the space are going to look to see that programmatic is beyond a sort of a verb that everyone talks about, and actually see that the platforms and the advantages they bring to bear for marketers is real. So what that means in our business is that we'll be investing $54 million in 2016 in product and engineering on our platforms, everything from Turbine to Spotlight to Banner Connect. All of those platforms are getting sort of progressively better as we do more and more on the data side and media side, but also on the science side, where we're actually building out algorithms to continue to give our traders an advantage in market when they're looking for viewable and live impressions versus the sort of fraud that's happening too much in our space right now. I think of us as a progressive media business, a data-first media business. A lot of people think because of the ownership within Group M and within WPP that we're an agency, but we're not an agency. We're a data-driven media business. Fundamentally, what that means is that we are investing in platforms and in non-commoditized data that we can then use in market to identify audiences that are driven by a platform that we've created and spent $25 million on 2 years ago called Turbine. And it's our objective to find people who are in market and deliver great ads to those people in a timely manner so that they respond and they take the next step on behalf of our marketing partners. I think as an old publisher, someone who's been in the business, is down on the programmatic side, I think they should be excited about what's happening as we evolve away from a marketplace where their impressions and the data associated with those impressions were basically flat bid against, where they weren't getting the true value for what they created on their websites. And I think that you'll see prices go up for those folks who do have something truly valuable in market. So as a publisher, I think there's good things coming in the programmatic space, and we're starting to see that. We're doing a lot of upfront deals with premium publishers. Well, we'll commit to spending with them as long as we get access to the best quality inventory and the best data associated with that inventory. On the video side, unlike display, the video market for quality inventory has been constrained, and we saw that, we saw that firsthand in Q4. The other thing that's been a challenge in market, but also something we're working really hard to fix, is the fact that Group M and Xaxis have some incredible standards around video viewability. So we're working with all the third-party video viewability partners to ensure that we only buy inventory that we know is a full episode player, where someone has to take an action to get that audio going and the video going so they can see the sight and sound, and that's what we're focused on doing. So we're creating algorithms with some of our DSP partners to find access to that inventory and to secure it in ways that benefit our marketing partners. Spotlight's a data visualization tool. I mean, everyone's looking for transparency. Where are my dollars being spent? And Spotlight is a tool platform within Xaxis that we've worked with a third party on, but we've added a lot of our own IP, where you can actually log on. It's a web-based application, and you can see almost in real time, as long as it takes data to get out of a server and into this platform, you can see the URL level where you're running and how that campaign is pacing and performing. So we're doing that for all Xaxis bought media, but if we manage other programmatic partners or ad networks who are on the plan, you can log in and see that information as well and get a real sort of strong comparison side by side to see your media dollars at work.
Is that different for Xaxis, which had not been known for its transparency? At least that's some perception.
Yeah, I mean, I think the perception is, years ago potentially, but we've been out in market with Spotlight for a year and a half now, and it was a heavy investment as well. I talk about that at $54 million. I mean, that's not a one-time investment. Every year we're in that range and more as the business grows, and it took us a while to get Spotlight right. It's a very difficult thing to do, to make sure all those integrations work where the data can flow in from multiple partners. But we've been in market for a while, so our best partners have seen it, they have access to the tool, they can log in themselves. We've been fortunate that we don't have the sort of same turnover maybe that a traditional agency would have, but our people who are specialists and best at what they do, we talked earlier about some of the 25, 26-year-olds who've been doing this for 3 or 4 years, are legitimate experts in their domain, and those folks have fortunately worked at Xaxis for a number of years, and they're in high demand, so they're being recruited. But we create I think a great culture. It's a very dynamic place to work. And we focus on three things, right? If you're in an industry that's growing as quickly as programmatic is, that's a good thing, and we remind people about that all the time. Nothing worse than being in a market that's sort of shrinking, where people are looking to reduce investment or to reduce headcount and cost cutting. We're the opposite of that. We're actually aggressively investing and looking to hire people. So we're in a dynamic marketplace right now. And we do a lot around training and trying to sort of cultivate career pathing for some of these folks, and we want them to see a future at Xaxis. And I think we've done a good job of that. And the last thing, we want them to feel valued for their expertise and for the hard work. I mean, it is not a 9-to-5 job. People work the same way they do at these agencies. Very often when there's a client demand, we're there late at night and people are working all hours of the day. And we focus on sort of having more good days than bad and enjoying the people you work with. If you get those three things, fast-growing marketplace where you can learn, where you're valued and you feel like you can participate in the strategy, and then where you have a lot more good days than bad, that's not a bad gig, and that's what we try to create at Xaxis. I kind of feel like all digital is performance, but specifically to light reaction, we sell based on an outcome. So you want a cost per engagement or a cost per action, we will actually bid that out to you. So we use that core technology stack that we have across Xaxis, Turbine at the center of that, and we use that to sort of create models to understand what it's going to take to drive the action that the client wants. You only pay if we deliver. So we see the performance business growing. We've got an incredible response so far to light reaction. We've we launched back in June of last year. It's a thriving, growing business. We're doing a lot of business with agencies, but also a lot of direct client work right now. So we're really bullish on the performance marketplace.